Hello, I'm Oliver and welcome to Tech Kid. Today I will be working with a Monoprice Maker Select 3D printer. Now there are 5 things to do before you actually start printing. Number 1, first you have to choose your STL file. And you can do that either by making your own file, or 2, you can go to a website called Thingiverse. I'll put a link in the description below. Next, you have to slice it. Slicing is writing out the instructions for the 3D printer. Next, you'll have to transport your SD card from the computer into the 3D printer. And don't forget about number 4. Leveling is one of the most important things about 3D printing. And last but not least, you have to preheat your 3D printer. It will differ depending on what kind of filament you're planning to use. Now that we have reviewed the steps, let's actually get to it. So here I am on my laptop, and we are going to be choosing our STL file. Remember, you can only use the file if it's an STL file. Any other file, you won't be able to open it into Ultimaker Cure or any other slicing software, as far as I know. So we are going to go to a web browser and type in thingiverse.com. Wait for that to load. And we're just gonna choose any random file just to test it out. We'll do something simple. What's simple? I've got it. Let's type in United States and enter. And these are all the results we get for the United States. Here's another option that I liked. So yeah, possibly that. Yeah, I think the first one was best. Here it is. So what we can do is click on the photo. First we have to make sure it's an STL file. And then we look at the thing files. STL. Perfect. So we'll just say download all. There it is. Okay. We have now chosen our file. So now that we've chosen our STL file, we have to put it into Ultimaker Cure. And as you can see, I am in Ultimaker Cure right now. I have this print bed that I can put the STL file onto. So I can open up that file. I can drag the STL file onto there. I'm not exactly sure what the lower 48S CAD thing is, but now we can scale it. We can move it. Whoa, that's the scale feature. So we can scale it to about. It doesn't need to be super big. We can move it left and right, X, Y, and Z, up and down, but we don't need to change any of those settings really. We can also rotate it side to side, like that. So, but we don't need to do that either. We just need it. If we wanted it to be a different size, we could always scale it, but we can also change the name down here. We can change it to US. I'll go over some of the settings. The infill, the bigger it is, the more solid it's gonna be. So 20%. We like to put it at, so that way it's not just a solid, completely solid form. It doesn't need to be a solid form. It just needs to have some support under, like in the middle of it, so that way it doesn't collapse on itself. The material, depending on what the material is, you'll want to you can experiment with some of the temperatures. A recommended PLA setting that I like to have is 215 degrees Celsius and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. 70 degrees Celsius for the build plate. If you don't want it to be super stringy, you'll want to enable the retraction so that way it doesn't cause these long strings. Supports. Generate support, yes. Support placement everywhere. the support overhang angle. If it's at 50 or under 50 degrees of an angle, then it will add supports to it, so that way it doesn't collapse. The build plate adhesion, I think that's what. This helps the print. This helps the filament flow easily. To start, it'll do a skirt is just a quick line, a few lines to get the filament flowing nice, and then it'll actually start on the real thing. But I recommend doing skirt, brim, or raft just to get it flowing. Dual extrusion. I don't have a dual extruder, so if I did, I would totally be teaching how to do that, but I don't. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave all of it how it is, and then once you're ready, you can press slice, and it'll slice it, and it'll give an estimated time, and it'll turn the STL file into G-code, which the 3D printer can read. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Next thing we need to do is transport the file. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the G-code file and we are going to move that into the 3D printer. So we need an adapter and we need this micro SD card. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to SD card and then unmount card. Then we can actually take it out. We can put it into the adapter. We can stick it into the computer. Okay, now it'll give you the option to save it to a removable drive. And that's what we want to do. Once the file is saved, we can press eject and it'll say I can safely remove the hardware. I can take the SD card. I can take out the micro SD card. I can put it contacts up into the SD card slot. Once that happens, I can go back to SD card, mount card, and I can go to the print file, go all the way down. Well, actually not all the way down. There it is, us.gcode. Once that is done, we're going to level the bed. One of the questions you might have right now is, why the enclosure? Well, the enclosure helps regulate the temperature, so that way you don't get warped as often. To level the print bed, you'll need a piece of paper. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to each corner and slide the paper underneath, so that way there's a little bit of grip. You do that to all 4 corners. You have to disable the stepper in order to move it. If it doesn't go in, there are these silver things. You want to turn those. If it's too tight, turn it, but make sure it grabs and it has a little bit of friction between the bed and the nozzle. A recommended detail, go corner to corner. If you start at this corner, go back here. Once you think you've got it about right, then the next step will be to preheat it. To preheat the PLA, or whatever kind of filament you're planning to use, go to Quick Settings, first Home All, so that way that goes in the corner right there. Then choose what kind of filament you want to preheat. Before you preheat, change out the filament spool using this tab. Once you're ready, press preheat PLA, and it will preheat to the normal settings. Don't worry if this looks wrong from what you set. The slicing settings, once you press print, will automatically change it. Once you're ready to print, press the file that you want. And that will change. This will keep climbing until it reaches 70 degrees Celsius. Same with this. A recommended tip, keep a damp paper towel by you and some glue sticks. To get a good first layer, lay down a layer of glue on the print bed itself. If it dries, use a wet paper towel and wipe it off. Well guys, thanks so much for watching this video all the way through if you've made it this far. I hope this video has given you a lot of great tips, and I hope you've learned a lot. Until next time, like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss an upload. Stay tuned for videos posted every Sunday afternoon, and I'll see you in the next video.